defended Nick Fuentes. We love what they're doing at these things. But let's not sit here and go the same people that saying, how does butt sex help the conservative movement? Okay, you're right. How does it? Why does going on a famed homosexual show? Seriously,
we got to ban pornography, though.
No, but why is if butt sex shouldn't be in the forefront of the conservative movement, right? Why are we going on famed homosexual Milo show, right? Doesn't that go counter to the whole movement? Isn't this interview here?
Not to mention, whose studio does this get filmed in?
Anthony Cumia.
Oh yeah, Anthony what?
Anthony Cumia.
Anthony Cumia. Another fucking creep who got caught buying fucking iPads for a girl he thought was 13. Remember that?
14.
14, whatever, close enough. Little buying iPads for little girls, right? These are all degenerates. The people that you're getting your fucking talking points from, we need to ban porn. Yeah, the right wing. We're gonna change the counterculture. You're getting your talking points from fucking degenerates. These people are all, by the way, they're all degenerates behind your back. Every one of them. Every one of these right-wing fucking philosophers, they're all degenerates behind your back. You don't know it. They're good at hiding it. They put on the little suits and they come out and, hey guys, we got to ban pornography. These people are all degenerates. They're all surrounded by degenerates. And you take your talking points from them. And then when we come out and tell you, no, honestly, we need to always default towards liberty, you guys, it's not print, it's not speech, it's degenerate. It's like you're getting your talking points from people who are secretly degenerates behind your fucking back.
And again, I'll say this: I agree. I do like a lot of the stuff that Nick's done with the movement. I do like what he's doing with it. Going and questioning these people and the Dan Crenshaw stuff. And we've defended it, and we'll probably defend him in the future when it comes to this stuff. There's a hit piece that was just put out on Nick Fuentes, which mentioned the Teddy Spaghetti shirt from the Jerusalem Post.
That made me laugh.
That it's the new conservatives are all hateful.
I had to send that to you. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, no.
Yeah, but again, to me, it seems silly to sit there and go, okay, here it is. This is from the Jerusalem Post. The young man in the smiley face baseball hat and the Teddy Spaghetti T-shirt had a question for Charlie Kirk, the founder of Turning Point USA, pro-Trump youth movement.
Our meme made the Jerusalem Post.
Yeah. So we made it, boys. We made it, boys. But explain to me how the people that are walking up and saying, and rightfully so, I think in a lot of the cases, saying stuff to Rob Smith and to people, why does butt sex have to blah, 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 and then go on Nick Fuentes' show, which the guy literally is only huge because has butt sex and is a conservative with dudes.
That's pretty much it.
Black dudes. I don't understand.
Oh my God, I have to ban this guy.
This basically encapsulate everything that we're saying. It's like, yeah, we could sit here and we could pretend, but sometimes you're gonna go on fucking Dave Rubin's show, and that's fine. Like, go on Milo's show. I don't care, Go on his show. It doesn't bother me that you go on his show, but I'm just using this as an example of what it means that nobody is, Mike said it earlier, but nobody is perfect. Nobody can hold on to 100% of their principles all the time. It really is impossible to ask anybody to do that. You know what I mean?
It's really just fucking gross. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of the hypocrisy. I'm so sick of everybody being so purely on this one team and like not even at least admitting the faults of the people telling you how to think. I'm just sick of everybody.
Apparently Nick was on the Milo show.
First thing I need to ask you is, who are these Jews and can we trust them? No, I'm just kidding. Don't ask that. Now, before we get into the interview with Nick, we've got some exclusive footage of you giving your worldview to a liberal journalist the other day. Let's take a look at that footage.
The Jews clearly control. But like Jews don't even have soil.
Yes, Israel.
You get it?
Yeah. Those aren't Jews. Of course they're Jews. Notice the Israelis. It's a fundamental.
It was a joke that Ryan Gosling was in a Nazi movie. Like, I always forget that.
More thin after the first 10 seconds. I got through as much of it as I could.
This is
now.
just too noisy, right? There's just too much visual.
There's a lot
I'd be
going
like,
on.
I get you're a gay guy, Milo, but Jesus fucking Christ. Like, there's got to be gay guys that see him and go like, Jesus, dude, dial it back.
This really does feel like Drag Queen Story Hour fucking 2020 colorized.
I really feel like I'm in, it looks like a prostitute's apartment.
I left you on a runway once upon a time. I was very badly advised, I think, by the people who were looking after me at the time. We flew you in for an interview and then we didn't end up doing it, and you didn't get the message till you'd landed. And I haven't had the opportunity to say sorry on air, so I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot about this. So Milo was supposed to do an interview with Nick Fuentes a bit ago before the Groyper thing blew up. And then when Nick showed up, Milo stood him up and never did the interview with him because people were saying, hey, don't be on. Hey, don't. And Milo's like, okay. But now that the Groyper thing has become
Bigger
easier,
than you.
exactly, easier to be a part of, now you're like, oh, I'm all aboard.
It's not even
Milo just jumps on whatever fucking trend is cool and hip at the time, or he thinks is cool and hip at the time. That's what Milo does. Milo did fucking stand him up, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is cool.
Honestly, this whole interview was cringe anyway. Nick got nothing out of this, and if I were him, the Chad move would have been to no-show.
To do it to him?
To let Milo announce, I'm going to have Nick Fuentes on the show. I'm very excited, and then no-show. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, tit for tat, bitch. I don't do fag shows. And that would have been the end of it. And Milo would have been done for. But instead, he went in and did this cringe thing in Compound Media.
Somebody says when Milo turns out to be Martin Short, it's going to be hilarious.
Would you not?
Yeah,
would you not stand up and
he would need an Oscar for that. He would need an Oscar for that.
He just rips the mask off. Yeah, it's just Martin
It's just
Short.
Martin Short. It's where he's been all these years.
You go, dude, Martin Short went deep undercover with this character. It's not even a movie, but they give him an Oscar anyway. Yeah. Here you go, sir.
Sorry about that, and that was 2 years ago or something now, but we shouldn't have done it to you. Now.
But you did, though.
Somebody said, nah, he has to play nice with Milo.
Why?
Why?
Milo's...
He's 20 times bigger than Milo now. He doesn't need... Literally, nobody needs Milo. I don't know if you get this, right? 2017 Milo, maybe. Nobody needs Milo now. Milo needs him.
Right.
Milo needs Nick Fuentes. Milo needs Gavin McInnes to suck at his tit because he's broke. Milo is fucking nobody now. Nick does not need to be cuddling up to Milo.
Mm.
Pretty much all your fans hate me, and a sizable chunk of my readers and listeners don't like you very much either. But my suspicion, my hope at least, is that we have more in common than we have dividing us. And that's the purpose of this interview.
Everything about it is very uncomfortable.
I think, perhaps you agree, that too often people on the right say they don't trust a word the media says, and then believe everything.
Nick looks like an altar boy that's about to get molested.
Yeah, this seems very uncomfortable.
This looks like the beginning of a very weird porno.
Yeah.
Right?
Hold on. You know what, Mike? You know what? Maybe we should ban porn.
Yeah, you know what?
If this is... Hold on. I'm backing up here. You know what?
Before we get to the end of this video, I'd like to ban pornography just to be safe.
I don't know what's going to happen
I don't know
here.
how this is going to end.
Yeah.
So the purpose of this interview is to let you speak in your own words about what you in fact
I'm waiting
do
for
believe.
a black guy to walk out and the two of these guys to just start working on his knob together.
And a couple of the things that have made people very, very cross. Something I can see you take great pleasure in.
Is he gonna talk? Is he gonna let him 3 minutes? Is he gonna let him talk?
I know that people made the joke about Martin Short, but he does have a Jiminy Glick vibe to this interview.
Jiminy Glick was great, by the way. Jiminy Glick. People get and rightfully so. Old school Sacha Baron Cohen was hilarious. Jiminy Glick did some shit that was fucking. Martin Short did that Jiminy that was fucking hilarious.
His just not listening to the guests' answers was my favorite thing.
And him touching them a lot, like he would touch them a lot.
He would touch them a lot, and he would the way he would move around in his chair in his fat suit.
Yeah,
he was always uncomfortable. God, what a great show that was.
For a ride. Okay. First question. This came straight from the boss, from Gavin. Which is it, FBI or CIA?
Mossad.
Oh, of course.
Fucking Milo trying to be funny is rough, right?
Jesus Christ.
and then we'll talk about it.
Right.
So here's a clip from your show, America First.
By the way, I just want to point out, Nick wouldn't do our show because we're cringe and gay.
Yeah, that's correct.
His words, we're cringe and gay, so he couldn't do our show. But
He's literally, Milo's literally gay.
And also very
literally cringe.
For libertarians, which is one of the points of ideological contact I think we have.
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's a word you just...
He's Jiminy. Oh my God, you're right. He's doing the Jiminy.
Tell me about you.
Tell me
about Nick Fuentes.
He is just exactly.
Tell me about Nick Fuentes.
He is. Oh my God. Thank you for. And I wish I could give you credit. I lost the name. But whoever said that, yes, he is Jiminy Click. Holy shit. Holy
Smacking him with his cards.
Now we go.
Oh my! Hold on. We'll play a little tiny clip because now I'm obsessed with these similarities. I mean, obviously Milo's not fat, but
Super special guest, the wonderful Jerry Seinfeld.
I'm a huge fan of yours.
Oh, well, thank you.
I've always been a fan. I've watched your show for years, even though it's been kind of hard to find sometimes.
I think prime time is the better time for us.
You've been such a great supporter of all of us in show business.
Well, you know,
of course, are not.
Well, I think of myself as a participant of the business.
And yet it doesn't...
That really feels like Milo. This is the same thing.
Holy fuck, man!
Just said a moment ago. Is
All
getting
right,
to
stop
the nub
playing
of
the
what I
Jiminy
don't
Glick
understand.
stuff. Let's get back to Milo
This is Milo.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, sorry.
And that's not Jerry Seinfeld, even though they're dressed the same.
I was like, wow, Royce is really milking this Jiminy Glick thing. I forgot we were back to... Okay, sorry. My apologies.
Yeah, let's go back to the other Jew.
Catholicism, I think, out of the strains of Christianity around, still at least has some conception. The way the Middle Ages church was, it's all about joy. I mean, Christianity's great innovation is joy. It's happiness. When you look at, Gothic
both on
churches, the
stimulants?
gargoyles are all like, they've all got their...
I know. I think Milo might be. I think Nick is just the one to get raped.
Maybe, I don't know, because he's always sniffly on his show, too.
Oh.
Like a lot.
Nah, I don't think so.
Ma, I gotta go do Milo's show. Have you seen my 32 regular jacket? You look like you'd be like a 36 regular. You know what I mean? Ma, I gotta go to the boys section. Take me to Burlington Coat Factory. I gotta go to Milo's show.
Cocks out and stuff, Some of it's silly and stupid, but if you look at medieval Christians, they were all singing and dancing, they were happy, right? Contrast that with Islam, that they were waging cultural and military.
I mean, look, man, I do believe there's a lot of value in Christianity, but not all of medieval Christians were singing and dancing. Like, that's not necessarily true. There was a lot of people being burned at the stake for knowing math and stuff.
Well, they shouldn't have learned math.
You're right.
Assaults.
Listen, 12 minutes in.
Nick has said 3 words.
How many words has Nick said?
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if we went all the way to New York to get 3 words, then I'd be furious.
Yeah.
You imagine we go to do Real Ass Podcasts this month, by the way, we'll be on a Real Ass Podcast. You imagine we go up there and then just Louis J. Gomez and Zach Amico just talk the whole time. And we just go, yeah, I thought that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just sitting in a car, you're like, we came all the way to New York for this.
Against. The thing for me about Christianity, it's central innovation in addition to...
Wow, it is like Jiminy Glick. They even got cookies on the table.
Oh, yeah.
You should just start stuffing his
eating
face.
them. Dude, I'm telling you, whoever brought that up fucking nailed it.
And of course, you black and white cookies. You know Keith the cop probably got those. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know a guy. Yeah. You know a fucking good executive producer?
All of the basis of Western civilization is happiness and joy. And I feel like you're tending towards a more puritanical version of Christianity that,
this feels like Nick. This feels like Nick went there to buy weed, and his coked out drug dealer will not shut the fuck up.
And you have to stay there because, because it's one of those drug dealers. It's one of those drug dealers that says, no, man, I can't have cars leaving too quickly.
Yeah, you got to hang out just for a few minutes, man, because the neighbors, bro, they're always on my ass. And you're like, and then they always have like some really shitty old console. Like, yo, I got Xbox 360. You want to play some Street Fighter 4?
No.
Street Fighter 3.5. And you're
No.
like, I'd rather not. I gotta get, bro, I got the original Tekken. You want to play Tekken? And you're like, Nick's got the posture of a guy who's just waiting on his weed. Like, yeah, totally. He is what's his face from Pineapple Express, Seth Rogen. When he's, I hate fucking lingerers, man. Lingerers. Yeah, I know. I don't want to.
Yo, you can't be loud when the tiger's here.
I don't want to linger, man. I don't want to be like those guys.
Nah, you're cool, bro. You could stay. It's one of those where you sit there and they even offer you free weed and you're like, nah, man, I'm cool.
Milo's that coked up drug dealer that you're like, I gotta go. Oh, and it's like, have you seen the new season of 90 Day Fiance? It is incredible. You've got to sit in
and
there.
You're
like,
going through your phone?
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. You know what I realized too? My mom just died. I gotta
go.
Gotta get out of here. I'm pretty upset.
From what Catholicism really is.
Well, I would disagree a little bit.
I think you want a bit of discipline.
That's right. Tell me about Catholicism, gay guy. That should have been his response. Sodomite. Why don't you tell me about the Bible some more?
Want a bit of coldness and discipline and distance, but that's
order.
But that's not very Catholic.
He's not
saying. It's actually very Catholic, I would say. I would say. I mean, I strike you probably as a joyful person, do I not? I'm a very sort of
you strike me as a little
mischievous.
Shit. You
Smiling.
You strike me.
He wants to fuck Nick Fuentes so bad. Oh,
I was gonna say, you know what Nick Fuentes strikes me as? Milo's type.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Milo wants to get up in that.
Twinkie boy. Telling you, man.
As a little cunt. I can't help but like you, but you strike me as a little shit.
I'm mischievous, but more to the point, there's a great quote by Fulton Sheen, who's of course
Martin Sheen's dad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Okay.
Yeah, look it up. It's really crazy.
A famous Catholic not fair to say televangelist, but he was on television.
Yes.
And there was a great quote.
Somebody goes, "Is this an advertisement for paganism?"
Okay, that's a good line.
I'll give credit to this one.
That's very funny.
It's Rhea and Mac.
Yeah, you know who set this interview up? Dave Martell. He's somewhere pulling the strings, laughing.
From him, he wrote in The Life of Christ about how he saw the Soviet Union had maintained the cross without Christianity. In other words, a sacrifice without the humanity. Yes. And he said that the West, it was the reverse, that we had maintained the Christ, the sort of tolerance, peace, the things you've described, but we've lost the discipline. We've lost the sacrifice.
He says, Nick looks like a lawyer for Scientology.
Oh, shit, you're right.
He kind of does.
That's very funny.
And so, you look at Catholics, and there's a long tradition of asceticism and, being in a...
Somebody in the chat, okay, obvious guy, Fulton Sheen is not Martin Sheen's dad. I know! Seriously?
Yeah, dumbass. Or his name would be Fulton Estevez.
Yeah, dumbass.
Dummy.
Look it up.
Monastery and things like...
Boy, he really tried to hide that spick side, huh? He tried hard. Call me Sheen.
Call me Sheen. Please do not.
Like that. And so I think, of course, it's always...
Is Milo falling asleep?
Balancing act. You look at the context of where we're at with our civilization. Some of the clips you played, transgenderism, drag queen story out.
He's crashing, is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I've been watching a lot of Teddy Hart, Maria Manic videos lately. I know what somebody looks like when they're coming down.
Somebody says, "Is this clip from a new David Lynch film?"
Or to me, what's missing from this picture
ends like one.
Yeah, seriously.
Is not joyousness or permissiveness. It is, like you said, discipline, order, perhaps a little bit of coldness or tough love as an order.
So I get what you're saying, and in fact, I'm
He didn't hear anything he said.
No,
Milo didn't hear anything he said.
He was literally like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you have any cocaine?
They're in Compound Studio. They could grab some somewhere, I'm sure.
asking you a question slightly from a position of devil's advocate.
Yeah, the Kevin Brennan burst in. Yeah, if you want fucking cocaine, go to Sullivan's. Bill Schultz is selling cocaine over there, right? Kevin, get Kevin out of here. Get Kevin Brennan out of here.
Advocacy, because as you may know, I've written a book making pretty much the argument you just did. Here's the thing, though. For every Sheen quote, there's one from G.K. Chesterton about glad and angry faith. Now, I have to grant you this. I do think you and the Groypers and the movement that you are the prince of, if you like, they do seem to quite effectively embody that glad and angry faith, the laughter and war stuff. They're not uptight moral majority cultural scolds like, let's say, the 1980s. You know.
Do you hear his lapel mic keeps rubbing against his jacket?
Because he's wearing a fucking Liberace jacket. Like, this is not...
Fucking looks like Freddie Mercury.
Ugh. By the way, so he did some show the other day. Milo was on. I forget what show it was. He was being interviewed. And I remember he was doing it from his webcam, like at his house. Mm-hmm. He lives in a small apartment, and he has a giant rack, like in a store, of clothes just across his living room. And I'm like, I couldn't live like
really?
that. I would be fucking, yeah, I couldn't live
Does
like
he have a closet?
I mean, I guess he just...
He's got to sleep in it every night. I get it.
Stan, okay, I take the point on Catholicism, certainly when it relates to the clergy, about all of that. My question was really about you. And you don't see...
No, this is an awkward vibe. Like, it looks like Milo wants to fuck him, and he's just trying to be polite.
It was Killstream. Thank you, guys. Yeah,
okay.
Milo was Killstream.
Okay.
And I was watching, Ralph Retort. I was watching Milo on there, and I couldn't stop looking behind Milo. I'm like, holy shit. Like, if I was with, like, a chick and she did that, like, she just had a rack of clothes, and I'd be like, this needs to go somewhere. I can't live like this.
Right, no, I get it.
I can't live in a department. I don't want to live in a Kohl's.
About, and this is a question that I have been asked a lot in my career too. You know, you make jokes and you draw attention to things. And I watched your video with the, things that Trump has done for America. 2 of them, things Trump has done for Israel, like 20 of them. And I found it difficult to argue with you. Do you ever feel any degree of responsibility?
Listen to him. I found it difficult to argue with you. When he came out, he was like, I'm half Jewish. He's another one that was half Jewish when it... Milo's another one that's like, I'm Jewish when it makes him, I'm a Jewish Catholic that converted when it helps him out. But now he's like, you're right. Trump does a lot of stuff for... Dude, again, people have said it in the chat with Milo, and obviously we're not breaking any new ground here. This isn't like a fucking light bulb. Everybody knows. He's an opportunist, obviously. Like, that's what it is. He's just an opportunist. And look, man, we've been skipping around, and I'll skip around even more.
By the way, Milo, I think you have the Catholic Church and the Latin Kings mixed up. You can't just fuck enough priests and eventually you're a member. I don't think that's how it works.
It used to be. I read the Boston Globe article.
Separated us on purpose, and the natural order of things is for the races to be separated and within their own nations, their own communities, and in the environmental conditions that they...
Jesus, Nick. That's not Nick.
I love that Logitech mic.
Yeah.
It sounds like one of those old... Remember the old ones that was just a stick with a little hole at the end?
Are adapted to. Everybody's equal, right? Like, that's an actual version of equality. It's when you start mixing everybody up that things get so fucked up, and you put a black person next to a white person, and nobody can, like, the black person, no matter what, even if there's...
This isn't a Spurgy question at all.
I got it. Yes, Anthony, I appreciate that, but this is...
Thank you, Mr. Cumia.
This is my show.
We can't really kick him out. It's his studio.
He's sleeping on the couch lately.
He's been living here. It's really sad.
I don't know.
Because Dave Landau has his apartment,
It's
so he has to sleep
awkward.
here.
Yeah, it's really weird.
A lot of Bud Light cans laying around on the ground.
What's
But
your
I love
reaction
this
to that
guy's
kind of
Spurgy
contradiction?
question, too, because it's like, and then it's going to be like chaos. It's going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah. You're going to have like whites and blacks next to each other. He made that sound, really made it sound like it was apocalyptic. You put a black and a white in the same room. It's like, Jesus Christ, the chemical reaction alone. I think this man understands science.